Hey guys, Expedition Eric here, starting off a brand new year about blogging about the Zumba. They got a brand new exhibit there this year, so we're going to tell you all about it. We're going to tell you what it looks like, what it's called, and the star animals of this new exhibit. So without further ado, let's start this year off with a bang. Cue the awesome intro! So, there's a brand this year called The Animals of Antarctica. The first new star of the new exhibit of Animals of Antarctica is like my friend here, the penguin. Or if you want to be really scientific, this guy right here. Or what us people that speak English call macaroni penguins. But talking about macaroni penguins made me in the mood for some mac and cheese. The males will perform a huge display for the females in order to attract them. And in early November is usually when 2 eggs are laid. And after they are laid, they are protected by the male while the female goes out and hunts for about 25 days. At one time, these penguins were thought to be the most populated penguin species in the world because they're all over South America and all over every island of Antarctica. But as of recently, they've had a steady decline of about 30%, with some even saying that it's a sharper decline of about 50 to 65% in the last 30 years. In these extraordinary species, the respiratory system and the circulatory system work together to make sure that they can survive both on land and in the sea. In general, penguins have a respiratory system that uses their abdominal muscles to push air into their system and exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide. And the heart going from the right to the left is how it's circulated. But they have adapted very well for diving and swimming. Penguins' lungs can hold a lot of air, mostly because they have something in their blood called hemoglobin, which they have very specialized hemoglobin that allows them to circulate all the oxygen that they have in their body while they are underwater. And the penguin's circulatory system reduces the heart rate to 5 beats a minute to minimize the amount of oxygen that they consume. Very extraordinary indeed. Penguins have an excellent sense of sight and have color vision and they can see clearly both on land and underwater, so they can both hunt underwater and take care of their young on land. Penguins are very fast swimmers, and they use their feet and tails as propellers underneath the water. And on land, penguins have their famous waddle. Why do they waddle? Well, it's because it conserves momentum and uses much less energy when they're on land. And they can walk at about a steady rate of 2 miles per hour unless they are scared or angry, in which they can walk much, much faster, as exampled by getting away from seals or people that are trying to catch them. The other new star of the zoo this year is the orca whale, or the killer whale, or, for our scientific friends out there, this one. Ta-da! Killer whales hunt in groups called pods, and in these pods they pretty much attack anything that comes near it for food. Now they mostly eat seals and fish, but have also been known to eat penguins, birds, and even in 1992, 2 killer whales attacked, killed, and fed on a shark. Yeah, a shark! Killer whales use sounds to communicate with each other, usually clicks and calls. which different clicks can communicate with each other where something is. You can tell the pod where food is and how far away that it is. As you can imagine, these killer whales are very intelligent, having the second largest brain of any marine mammal. They often imitate each other and teach important skills to their children. And also, very impressively, are so intelligent that they use the nets that fishermen use to get their own fish and food, so that they don't really have to work for it at all. Oddly enough, the way that killer whales reproduce is very unknown, but what is known is that babies are born about every 3 to 10 years after a 17-month pregnancy from the mother. Killer whales use their fins to swim very rapidly through the water, and on occasion will even jump out of the water, giving tourists in the area a lot to laugh about. The killer whale respiratory system consists of a single blowhole on the top of its head. A whale's lungs, unlike humans, cannot tolerate water. So, right before it gets to the surface, it exhales all the gases in its body and comes above the surface to get a quick exhale before going underneath the water again. The main objective of a killer whale's circulatory system is something called thermoregulation, which keeps the whale warm when it's underneath the water. The main goal is to spread warmth throughout the body, where the arteries contain the very warm blood and the veins contain the cool blood. Heat is transferred from the artery to the veins to circulate warmth throughout the body of the killer whale. Now, the zoo has not yet released the full 100% what the exhibit is going to look like, but there was the promo earlier. We can see that there were mountains and lots of snow in the penguin exhibit. The zoo has announced, however, that there will be a killer whale show. So one can possibly assume that it's going to look something like the SeaWorld Shamu show. Even though we don't know exactly what the new exhibit is going to look like, we all know that the animals of Antarctica will be something incredible and something new for tourists to look at. Well, that about wraps up my blog for this time. This is Expedition Eric signing off. I'll see you guys at the zoo. Problems, animals ain't one. If you having zoo problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, animals ain't one, baby.